7 o'clock, call the meeting to order, please, and if you would all rise and join us in the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Penny, will you call the roll?
Marianne Goodman, here. Penny Georgievich, here. Mary Pitcher, here. Kyle Orr,
Here.
Joel Klein.
Present.
Hey. You guys, can we kind of have it quiet, please? Right, approval of the agenda. I would like to add under guests, Jandy Sprouse is here and she's going to be the recommended appointment for the Frankfurt Library. So I just want to add Jandy there and have her introduce herself. If you have any questions for her, okay? And with that, anything else, or I would entertain a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
A second. By Orr, support by Goodman.
As amended.
As amended, thanks, yes.
As amended. A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next up is the minutes of the February 5th meeting. Entertain a motion to approve.
Look at this before you finished it. Did you send this like out for us to look at, like Mary and I or something? I feel like I should have already read it. Sorry, that's all I was after.
I think this one I did, but
I think I did.
at this moment, I can't swear to it.
Okay, I'll make a
That was a month
motion to
ago.
approving of the February 15th. I second.
By Orr, support by Klein. Any amendments, any questions? That will be, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. On to financial reports, Marianne.
Okay, Lake Township's financial reports. For the month ending February 28th, 2026. Lake Township's general fund. I don't remember the things. Okay, general fund checking account is at 46,500. I'm gonna start that over. Okay, Lake Township's general fund checking account has $46,459.63. The general fund money market stands at $226,206.91. Honor CD number 29 is $34,089.26. West Shore CD number 51 is $105,296.19. State savings CD number 44, $54,482.38. West Shore CD number 11 is $108,561.76. Petty cash is at $100. Our Michigan cash account stands at $300,033.62. New account called ICS with Honor Bank has got $100,100.83. Lake Township's money market account, call it, is at $33,023.99. And $100 of the general fund is in the tax account to keep it open year round, for a total in Lake Township's general fund of $1,008,454.57. Make a motion that we approve that financial report for the month of February 2026.
Seconded.
That was Orr, motion by Goodman, supported by Orr. Any discussion? Roll call.
Joel Klein.
Aye.
Kyle Orr,
Aye.
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Penny Georgievich, aye. Marianne Goodman.
Aye. Okay, Lake Township's fire fund for the month ending February 28th, 2026. Fire fund has its CD number 37, we call it, at $62,225.22. The fire fund money market account is at $98,387.30. And the fire fund's Michigan class account has $128,961.21 for a total in Lake Township's fire fund of $289,573.73. And I'd like to make a motion that we approve Lake Township's fire fund financial report for the month of February 2026.
Seconded.
My goodness, supported by Klein. Got it. Any discussion? Roll call.
Kyle Orr, Mary Ann Goodman,
Aye, sorry.
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Joel Klein,
Aye.
Penny Georgevich, aye.
Okay. We have some budget amendments too. General budget amendments that, usually happen quarterly. These are like the very last ones because our fiscal year ends the end of March. So this was do our best to get everything shored up, so until none of our accounts are under any of that. Oh, let's see. Okay, we'll just do it by name. General fund revenues. We're increasing some revenues. Increasing property taxes by 10,000. Increasing the property tax administration fee by 15,000. Increasing permits by 500 and increasing our interest that we earned by another $2,500. So total revenue increase of $28,000. Expenses, we're increasing board wages by $2,000. We're increasing the website line item by 500. The board mileage, we're increasing by $400. The line we call aid to other governments, we're increasing by $2,500. The treasurer's deputy wages, we're increasing by $300. Assessor supply line by 100. Assessor postage by $50. Election contract, we're increasing by $400. Building and grounds, Social Security and Medicare by $20. Building and grounds electricity by $200. Building and grounds snow plowing by $500. Building and grounds capital improvement by $2,100. Planning and zoning miscellaneous, we're increasing by $200. True Green, we're increasing by $150. And park miscellaneous line item, we're increasing by $200. Okay. So that is an increase in general fund expenses of $9,620, which down below you can all see we increased revenues by 28,000, increased expenses by 9,620. So there is a net increase in revenues of $18,380 if we approve these amendments. Which again, to the right, it shows you the budgeted numbers. They're not actuals, they're budgeted still. I'd like to make a motion that we approve these budget amendments for the general fund for March 5th, 2026.
I'll support.
Like Goodman, supported by
Penny?
Georgevich. Any questions? It'll be roll call.
Penny Georgevich, aye. Mary Ann Goodman,
Aye.
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Kyle Orr,
Aye.
Joel Klein.
Aye.
Oh, and then there's the quieter fire. It's not that. Okay, so budget amendments for Lake Township's fire fund also. We are increasing revenues in the fire fund. We're increasing property taxes by $5,000. We're increasing the reimbursement line by $500. Did I say 5,000 for property tax? Okay, and 500 for reimbursements. So total increase in revenues of $5,500. Fire fund expenses, our protection contract, we have to increase that expense by $20,000. And contracted services for the fire arms by $600 for a total increase in fire fund expenses of $20,600. Which again, down below, you can see with the added revenues and expenses, we are actually coming up short $15,100 more in the budget for this fund. Too many numbers. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that we approve these budget amendments for the fire fund for March 5th, 2026.
I'll support.
Motion by Goodman, supported by Georgevich. Stop. Any discussion? Hearing none, that will be a roll call.
Joel Klein,
I,
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Kyle Orr, Mary Ann Goodman,
Aye.
Penny Georgevich, aye. All right,
Me?
and the board reviewed the bills earlier, so I'd like to make a motion that we approve the payment of township accounts from the general fund of $21,877.09. This includes TPS of $1,753.20.
By Georgevich, supported by Orr. Any questions on the bills? We all reviewed them earlier. Okay, that'll be roll call.
Kyle Orr,
I,
Mary Ann Goodman,
Aye.
Joel Klein,
I,
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Penny Georgevich, aye.
Sure.
All right, I would like to make a motion to approve payment of fire fund bills for $1,474.53. That includes an TPS of $390.30.
53 cents. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said 3 cents.
Oh, no, 53 cents.
Okay, sorry, yes. I'll second that.
By Georgevich, supported by Goodman. Any discussion? Roll call.
All right, Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Joel Klein,
I,
Mary Ann Goodman,
Aye.
Penny Georgevich, aye. Kyle Orr.
Aye.
Okay. You all set?
All set.
At this time, we will open public input for items on the agenda only. Try to limit things to 3 minutes. Please stand up and state your name, and there will be another public input at the end of the meeting for any other topics. So, anyone? Hi, you guys. Okay, hearing none, public input is closed. And we will move on to our first guest. Katie Zeits is the Benzie County Administrator. Welcome, Katie, and she's going to speak about Township and County General Operating millages, and you all got, this is her handout for us. So, you are just wherever you're most comfortable. The podium works pretty well, but you choose. It doesn't matter to me.
All right, hi, everybody. I'm Katie Zeits, and I'm your Benzie County Administrator. I have served at Benzie County since 2021. Before I came to Benzie County, I worked for the city of Traverse City for 10 years. I'm also a Benzie County resident, so when I talk about these things, I'm talking about my own impact as well. My 3 little boys go to school at Benzie schools, and we live here, and we're invested in Benzie County. So I'm here today to talk about the general operating millage. The general operating millage is for Benzie County as well as every township within Benzie County. Many of you have probably heard over time, and I know Art has talked about this topic to the group and many a times throughout the years, that Benzie County has a general operating millage that was put in place in 1982 for Benzie County. And since 1982, we have never taken to the voters to fully reset or to even change the rollback of that original 1982 millage. And because of the heavy rollback that was put into place in Michigan, almost every year, that millage, which started out in 1982, has rolled back just a bit. And what that means is in 1982, the original levy for Benzie County was 5.29, and as of this year, we're down to 3.23. For your township, you would have started at 1.21, and you're down to about a 0.69 levy for your township. Now, as a taxpayer, you're like, great, paying less in taxes. But as a service provider, what that does is it really puts a pinch on the services that we're trying to provide to the residents in our community. You'll see on your ballot periodically kind of an a la carte menu of millages, and that has been the approach over time to take to the voters specific special levies to address the different services that the community wanted to provide. Whereas if the general operating millage would have been reset or raised back to that 1982 value, perhaps many of those services could have just been coupled into the general fund. But instead, we have all the different millages: animal control, school resource officer, drug enforcement, etc. So what we're trying to do this year is we're trying to ask the voters for a little reprieve. We're not asking to roll back to the 1982 value, because going from a 3.23 to a 5.29, that's quite the sticker shock for the community. And quite frankly, we don't need to go back to 5.23. We don't need all of that money to do the things that we're wanting to do now and into the future for now. So what we're asking for the voters today is for a 0.79 increase in the general operating millage. Now, when you look at the numbers, that looks like it's about a 1.2 increase. But what we're willing to do and what we're actually committing to do is taking some of those special millages off your tax bill and rolling those into the general fund. So the school resource officer, the drug enforcement, as well as animal control, will be rolled into the general fund. So it's an overall about a 0.79 increase. Now, everyone wants to know what we're going to do with that money. And there's various things of what could be done with that money. Right off the bat, though, some of that money is going to need to be used to balance the central dispatch fund. Central dispatch is funded through a surcharge that many of you see on your phone bill. So if you get a Verizon or an AT&T phone bill, you'll see on your bill a surcharge. Those are the dollars that come to central dispatch. And statute prohibits us from taking any more than $3 per surcharge. You think about central dispatch and what goes into central dispatch, the 24/7 operation and the technology it takes to run central dispatch is amazing. The computers, the phone systems, and therefore, and all of you have probably bought a new phone in the last couple of years, and you've noticed that a cost of a cell phone is thousands of dollars now. So think about the technology it takes to run central dispatch and the cost it takes to have that system in place to answer those 911 calls. This year, we've actually had to utilize general fund balance to help balance their budget, because there is a shortfall and there's no other funding to do that. Part of the increase in the general fund would help to offset central dispatch. We also have a lot of capital planning in place for central dispatch and county operations in general. And when we're looking out into the future for capital planning for the services we're providing, we're not able to save enough to keep up. And so we're needing those dollars to start planning ahead. When I came to Benzie County in 2021, I was amazed by the deferred maintenance that had been done on our county buildings and facilities, especially coming from Traverse City, which they keep up on a few things. And so when I came to Benzie County, it was a little scary. And we got hit with some big dollars right away. And that was because heating and cooling units failed, because they should have been replaced years ago, and there was no plan in place to do that. And so there was one summer when we all had a lot of fans on, because it was 85, 90 degrees in the buildings. And those are some of the things that I don't want to happen again. Neither does the Board of Commissioners. We want to plan for these things. We want to be able to tuck a little money away so that we can plan for these things, so we're not in these oh no moments when things fail. We also know that there's additional services that the community is going to want to see, and we need to be able to prepare for those additional services. One of the items that we're looking at is the animal control and shelter. We have a very small shelter, and we know the folks in Benzie County love their shelter and they love their animals. Right now, there's no opportunity to make plans, to make changes to that shelter, and without additional funding, we're kind of stuck the way we are. The state of Michigan has rolled out some additional rules and regulations when it comes to running a shelter. And quite frankly, our shelter right now is not meeting those standards where they should be, because we don't have the money to do that. Now, the state is working with us, and as we take away at little things and show effort and show that we're trying, they're letting us remain open in the shelter. But if we cannot start to address some of those needs, we're going to have to shut down the shelter, which is something we absolutely don't want to do. The kennels that are in the shelter are original kennels from when that building was built over 40 years ago. And as you can imagine, dogs licking and going to the bathroom has really ruined some faces. So those are just some of the things that we're looking at. With the general fund, many of the services that you see every day are what's provided out of that general fund. My office is one of them. Equalization, who works directly with your local assessors. Emergency management. Many of you have probably seen Rebecca Hubers here a time or two with the hazard mitigation plan and those sorts of things. She's a general funded position, in addition to the sheriff's office, the clerk, the treasurer, and so forth. Most of the sheriff's office comes out of the general fund. Road patrol specifically comes out of the general fund. As you know, there's a separate jail millage to pay for the jail operations. And one thing that catches people off guard is the sheriff's office, because the road patrol is not a mandated service under county government. The jail, most of the jail is. It's very interesting when you read the statute. We're required to have a sheriff. We're required to have a lockup. We're not required to have cops on the road. Very interesting. We're required to have a clerk. You're not required to have an administrator. So if we get to this situation that we're having to really tighten up the bootstraps and start making cuts, that's where we're going to look, right? We're going to look at the items that are mandated to provide as a county. We're going to look at the items that are considered those extra items. And we have to make those tough decisions going forward because we have to provide those certain services. So in this packet that most everyone has, and most have it in green, and funny enough, it didn't need to be on hard stuff. But it is. I'm trying to provide an outline as to what it looks like, what the millage request is, what are some of the things that we're planning to do with those funds. It is very high level from a township standpoint, because as you know, the county and the townships are all tied together. And it's every single township in Benzie County. So we went through this and tried to provide kind of an outline as to what that means, what our general fund is providing. And then later on in the document, you'll actually see the ballot language that'll be on your August ballot this summer. And then we go into some of the future needs for the funding. And so in those last couple of pages, you'll be able to see some of the items that we're planning to use any additional funds for. One of the things I want to make very clear is that while the county and the townships, the proposal is to increase the levy, it's very important that the community knows and that the board understands is you don't have to levy that maximum amount. It's always up to on the ballot language. And our county board of commissioners is committed to levying what's necessary, not just extra to have. And we've demonstrated that over the last 5 years when we've implemented budgets. We've rolled back some of the levies to only take what is needed for the service and not just take extra. It's smart to have a fund balance, but to have a fund balance that well exceeds your overall budget really doesn't seem appropriate, and especially for me in a public service background, the last thing I want to see on my budgets as well. And so we're only levying what's absolutely necessary, and that's what we would continue to do. Do you have any questions?
Yeah, I think we'll open it up for board questions, and I'd like to start. So we went through this once before, and I've talked to Art Janat about this. Eliminating some of the separate millages.
Yep.
And I feel like it's the same as it was last time around, like pass this and trust us. We're gonna eliminate some of those millages. Is that the case?
Yeah, so over the last 5 years I've been in Benzie County, I've been trying to do different things to help the community build their trust with local government, with their local county. We've committed to various things over the last 5 years to roll back levies, to only use what is necessary, and to commit to various things that we wish to provide. We've improved transparency and things like that. We're on YouTube and all these things, trying to build the trust with the community. So yes, that is the ask. We asked for this increase, and we're committing to roll in 3 of the smaller millages into the general fund. Animal control, school and youth resource officer, and the drug enforcement, which is TNT commonly known as. Those 3 millages would end up coming off your tax roll or tax bill because they'd be now part of the general fund. What that does is it gives some opportunity for growth and enhancement among those services as well. Because as you know, with a special levy, that's the amount of money that you have to provide that service. And if there is a need for any reason to enhance those services, you're really limited to the dollars that you have and the length of the levy. So within the general fund, we're able to move around any of those dollars to make those enhancements within those different services. If one department, isn't needing these dollars for a service that they're providing because maybe we went digital, and so we don't need as much money for copiers and lease payments and those sorts of things, we can shift those dollars over, say, to the animal control to help with some of the additional things that we're doing with those animals up there.
Great, thank you. So I like it that you specified 3. I think it's a better message this time around.
Yeah, all 3 of those would be the 3 that we would commit to rolling in into the general operating.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Any board members have questions for Katie? Mary Ann?
Yeah, I didn't until you just said that, and only because I think you're probably gonna hear this.
Mhm.
Because if you roll these three into your general fund, what's to keep you from suddenly shorting animal control by half?
Right.
Where if they had a millage, we knew at least X amount would go to them.
I can tell you from personal experience, in 2021, when I came to Benzie County did not put the animal control millage on the ballot. And this lovely community of my neighbors came at me with some pretty heavy pitchforks, and they thought I was gonna get rid of animal control. And that is something that I committed that would not happen in my time. I'm a farm girl. I love my animals, and if that's one thing I'm gonna fight for, it's gonna be the animals personally. But I think that goes back to the trust. We've been working hard to build the trust within the community, and it's up to the community to hold us liable for the things that we're saying. If you're not holding us accountable for the promises that we're making, then that's up to you to determine those changes at the future ballot box. I need you to hold me accountable just as much as I'm asking for you to help me and hold yourselves accountable.
I just have one more quick thing.
Keep coming.
What was this all, like the decision on those three items and sort of this overall? Didn't you have like a committee of, you know, a bunch of people and not just administrators? It was, you know, residents and things like that, that all like helped you come up with this, right?
That is correct. So the millage that was put in place through the tax advisory committee, the tax limitation advisory committee. And by statute, when the county wants to look at any sort of reset or roll up of the millage, they're required to put together what is called the tax limitation advisory committee. And most of the members on that committee are statutory committees. Myself served on that committee, County Treasurer Kelly Long, Jason Barnard, Supervisor of Benzonia, Mandy Gray Rainier, she's the treasurer of Elmira, as well as Randy Rice, who is a resident of Joyfield Township, and then Matt Olson, who represented the Traverse ISD. We met several times. We did meet and stream it live on our YouTube channel, so folks are welcome to go back and watch that. If you go to our Benzie County YouTube channel, I played around a little bit and I figured out how to create playlists. So there is a tax committee playlist. We don't have to funnel through all the other committees on there. So you can specifically watch those. So over the course of several months, we met and we discussed and we heard from staff and we heard from the community about what are we gonna do? There was a lot of ideas that were thrown on the table. Ideas from public safety millages to just central dispatch millages to asking for a separate special millage that then couples others together. Lots of ideas. And really what we came down to is this general operating millage for the county and all the townships and just really giving that ability to enhance those services long term. We didn't ask to go back to the 5.29. We didn't think that was appropriate. And so what we did was the townships, we asked to go back to the 1.21, which was their original, and the county was then equal at the 1.2. The thing to keep in mind though, as well, when you look at the numbers, it's a 1.2 increase. It's a 0.79 when you roll in those other levies.
Any other board questions for Katie? Kyle?
I'm circling back to the road commission ask that we had. And in this, there's a lot of, infrastructure for the county bill. Have you guys tentatively have any, like this is what we have to do, and wait a few years, and then do we have a dollar amount for that? I mean, I think that's where people, they're gonna know what they're spending the money on.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that we're rolling some things back into it, that's great. But, I mean, we all saw the comments on the road commission and.
We did.
And there's a lot in there of the county building itself.
Sure, yeah. So from a road commission standpoint, I've been working really closely with them to really help educate the community on how all of that transpired. And I said to them, way to go. You really made the battle hard for me. And they laughed at me, of course, but all in good spirits and fun, of course. So from our standpoint, some of these things, like the building and facility maintenance specifically, through the ARPA dollars, as you know, we received ARPA dollars. We received $3.42 million in ARPA. Between matches and other funds that we were able to acquire, we were able to make a $16 million impact on Benzie County. And so we did a lot of those big ticket items. So we're good for a few years.
Okay.
Our heating and cooling units, we've done every single one now on the Benzie County Government Center. And so we're good. We're good now for another 4.5 to 5 years since the first one. And then it's about a 10-year lifespan is what we're being told. So we've given us some cushion in all of this. So the things that are planned for now aren't the biggest ticket items. One of the units, for instance, was $78,000 just for one heating and cooling unit. I guess, that's a lot of money. So those big things really have been done, and we utilize a lot of ARPA dollars to make that happen. But some of the bigger items that we are talking about, for instance, is the roof of the government center. We've had many leaks over time. I'll never forget 2 summers ago, I was on a tour of housing in Thompsonville, and I get the call and it says there's water pouring into the vault. And I'm like, what? And so we've had a few leaks along the way. We've patched them, but really the roof is getting to a point where it needs to be done. That's one of the biggest ticket items down there. The sidewalks, the concrete, and the pavement on campus. If anyone's walked around our campus lately, you've seen quite a few sidewalk potholes. And we need to work on those. We've received dollar amounts of upwards of $300,000 to redo the different concrete around the campus and to expand some of the concrete. You probably noticed some dead end sidewalks and then you walk in the grass. So to really put that together, we have a stairway as well. Many of you maybe haven't seen it, but there's a stairway between the government center up to the sheriff's office. Those stairs are deteriorating terribly and we're really close to a point of closing them down, because they're becoming unsafe, and that's over $100,000 to just do a set of outdoor stairways. So those are some of the bigger ticket items, including a pole barn. Many of you may not know that a lot of the equipment that the sheriff's office uses and emergency management uses, we actually rely on a lot of our neighbors to help store some of those equipment. For instance, the tribe has been gracious enough to store all of our boats. So we have the river boat and we have the big lake boat for the sheriff's office. They store all those for us right now. And we do, work together on that and a relationship on there, but it'd be great to be able to store those within our own infrastructure. And we just don't have that ability at this point. We have a maintenance barn on the campus as well. And you can see a lot of daylight in there. And what we're running into is the barn wasn't maintained. So now it's leaking. And then of course, now in the winter, you have lots of salt, moisture, and other things. It's causing our equipment to rust faster. So then, even though we're maintaining it the best we can, the longevity of, say, a tractor and a truck, just not there because they're just rusting out. And we did drive a rusty truck to plow for quite a long time. And it kind of got to the point when something rusted and fell off. And my maintenance guy called and says, what do I do? We had to get a new truck. And so that maintenance barn itself, we've numbers to reskin it, not completely tear it down, but just to bring it back up, was about $30,000 to do something like that. So cost to do pole barns, $30,000 just for one, another $30,000 to $40,000 to expand onto the existing sheriff pole barn that's just much too small. Concrete and pavement upwards of $300,000. We're actually working to get roof quotes right now. They told us that once the snow starts melting and they'll get out here and start looking at our roof, so we can see how much that is. That's a Bloxam like padded pillow roof. Which are a little expensive from what I've been told, but I don't know the number on that one just yet. So those are some of the bigger maintenance items that we're looking at. In addition to shelter upgrades, we have to redo the indoor kennels. We have to figure out the concrete. The concrete is, because it's a porous surface, we have to then epoxy it. Well, then we have to epoxy it every year, and that comes at a large cost as well. So they're really shifting us to wanting to use stainless steel because it lasts a lot longer in the shelter specifically.
Just
Can I add to that, because it's a response to your question, and not to embarrass Katie, let me give you a shorter answer. We put together about 5 or 6 years ago, a capital plan, 5-year rolling capital plan, and associated the cost of that. That includes not only the building projects you're describing, but replacement of sheriff cars. There was a time where the sheriff would come to us and I suddenly need 6 cars. We have a schedule now to replace a couple of cars a year. Replace technology, because technology needs to be upgraded every 3 to 5 years. So to answer your question more directly, we do have a documented capital plan that we can share with you, and in that plan is anticipated cost.
one little thing. Is there any hope with this, if we get this increase, to maybe add a little bit to the surplus? I mean, are we hoping to maybe have a little left back in is that the hope of the 0.79 to have enough for our spend, but maybe get a little cushion back?
Yeah, definitely. We know that we need to expand services. We know that, a lot of our offices are very short-staffed in what they do. And we have a lot of contracted services that we provide to the county. And it's always one of my, conversations that I'm having of, does it make sense to contract or bring in-house as well? And so those are some of the things that we're thinking about as we look into the future. We have some of the most beautiful natural resources in northern Michigan, and we rely heavily on volunteers. Is that the right answer? Do we continue that and for how long? Should we support the townships more in maintaining their parks and, zoning and all these different things come up time and time and again in my time here in Benzie. And we just don't have the opportunity to work with the townships and work with the community to make those changes because we're barely balancing the budget.
Art?
I'm sorry, but Katie knew I'd be thanked either.
Yeah.
In 2017, the commissioners had an outside audit firm tell us what does the next 5 years plus look like. They came back and said, they gave us worst case, moderate, and best case scenario. What happened shortly after we got that report? COVID. So we had to suspend all of our activities. Katie, who has a finance background in the last 6 months, looked at that financial analysis, prepared her own financial analysis. And the bottom line is this, and for those of you that know me, I'm very fiscally conservative. If we don't do something today, by 3031, we will have exhausted all of our surplus and we'll be running in the red each year. And that's without doing any future planning. That's just taking a 5% increase in expenses, 5% increase in revenue, I believe. Is that about right, Katie? And forecasting them forward.
Yeah, so let's get a little surplus.
Yeah, and even 2031 is conservative. I mean, your had big cuts and are pretty tight in 2030, and then in 31, it's that moment. And so, yeah, there was a lot of conversation about the study that was done prior to my time there about, the county is just in this really bad spot. ARPA did a lot for Benzie County, and I think the community saw that ARPA did a lot of good things. But I think what that did is it painted the picture of Benzie County as a lot of it. And so people are like, why do you need more money? You just spent all this, you committed 1.7 million of broadband and you committed this much to housing and this much to all these things. And it's like, well, those were ARPA dollars. And we utilized those ARPA dollars in a way to build upon that. We were able to get funding from the state and funding from other grant opportunities. And like I said, made a $16 million impact in Benzie County, which is just huge. But we're back to where that plan said we were going to be a few years later, of course. And yes, when I read my financial forecast, it's very bleak and it's disheartening. The hardest part for me, and this is where as an administrator, it tugs on me, is I've had numerous staff come up to me and say, should I look for new jobs? And that's hard. That's really hard. I don't want to be the guy that has to lay people off. But again, I was hired to run a county. I was hired to do what's best for the county and I have to do what I have to do if it comes down to it. The one point that I want to make that I didn't thank Art for reminding me is something has to be done no matter what. The millage as it stands, and you may recall this from a couple of years ago, on your ballot, it asked you to drop the word indefinite. And that's why we're here, that we are today. In 1982, when it was set, it said indefinite. So that's why it didn't come back before the voters, because it was indefinite and just kept going. We removed that word. And I asked for that strategically because I didn't want the can kicked down the road any further. It had already been kicked down the road since 1982. And so I asked the commission to support this, which really tied their hands for today, because they could have kicked it a little further if indefinite was still there. So by us taking that word off there, it really pigeonholed us to have to try. We have to try, right? We don't know what the community is going to say, so we have to try. But the big thing to keep in mind is in August, if this does fail, that doesn't mean there's money. That means it just goes away for every township and the county. It just goes away. The indefinite was taken off, which sunset that millage period. So everyone's general operating millage would end up going away if it does fail.
Am I right? I believe that in 1982, the majority of the counties in Michigan didn't have that word indefinite in there. Like we're in a predicament that most counties were never in.
Yeah, a weird predicament. There was only a dozen to 20 counties that did indefinite. And now as of today, we're one of just 1, 2, 3, maybe 3 counties who have not done a reset and not dropped indefinite.
That's
83 counties.
I mean, out of 83 counties, we're.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I applaud you and the commissioners for biting the bullet and really trying to do something about it.
Ready?
I don't know.
Brief.
Yes, first of all, why 2 years? And what happens after 2 years? Is it gonna go back to the 3-2-3?
So no,
No, we haven't
so we
voted
talked
on
a lot about this at the tax advisory committee, and the board of commissioners talked a lot about it as well, because 2 was a little like, why are we trying to do this so often, you know, what if? And we talked a lot about the 2 years, and we talked a lot about the 4 years. And the consensus of the tax advisory committee was, let's ask for 2 so we can prove to the voter we're gonna do the right thing. So that in 2 years, perhaps we can ask for 4. We felt that it'd be easier to a voter to try it out on us for 2 years off the bat, and we could prove to the community we're gonna do the right thing versus ask for 4 or 6 or whatever. And then the community's like, I don't wanna tie my hand for that long.
One other question. You keep talking about the townships will lose their operating.
That's
This
correct.
1-2-1 is rolled into the entire headly for the county. Is that what you're saying?
No, so when it was set up in 1982, it's a tax allocation, it's a specific amount for counties, specific amount for townships, and a specific amount for the ISDs, the schools. Now, Benzie County's in a interesting situation where we're part of a regional ISD. And believe it or not, in 1982, Kalkaska was the largest county. So Kalkaska determines the ISD, weirdly enough. And so that one doesn't change until Kalkaska calls for the vote on the ISD. So we're dealing with the townships and the county here. The county started out at 5.29 and all the townships started out at 1.21. They've all rolled back differently because of having proposal A that determines the rollbacks within the communities. And because all of our townships have developed at various different rates, they've all rolled back a little differently. That's why they're not all of the same rollback, but they all started at the same. We wanted to just put on a flat increase to all townships, but we weren't allowed to do that because they're all different at the time. So we couldn't just say we want to raise every township 10%. That wasn't allowed. We had to actually pick a hard number per the statute and our legal counsel, and that's why we determined to roll back to the 1.21 for them.
So if it doesn't pass, you're saying that the townships cannot levy their general operating?
That is correct. Every township in Benzie County and the county will have zero ability to levy their general millages. Special millages are not affected, fire is not affected, EMS would not be affected, the jail would not be affected. It's the general operating millages. So I've been for many townships that your parks and your cemeteries, there's one township that strictly funds fire. For the county specifically though, that's the administrator, equalization, it's going to be the, my office, register of deeds, the clerk, the treasurer, the courts, emergency management, sheriff's office, those are all within the general fund.
And again, the question doesn't, what's going to roll out the rest of the 2-year period? It's gonna stay,
So in 2 years, we'll be on the ballot again.
you have to continue. to
It'll
do
go on
that.
the ballot again. That's correct. Yep.
That, it's tied to this, what Katie described. That's a state directive. That is not a local directive.
Yeah. In the 70s, they adopted heavily. Later on, they adopted proposal A, and that factors into what the rollback is. And the premise of it was great, right? When the legislatures put it into play, the premise of it was great. They didn't want people's taxes raising so much that folks couldn't keep up. And so they set this rollback factor in so that taxes could not rise any more than inflation or 5%, whatever is less.
Mary Ann, did you have something else?
I just want to finish with, that's what you really need to let everybody know, because we never vote on a county millage.
Yeah.
Right.
So people are gonna think it's new, vote no, oh my God, this is so urgent. So everybody needs to tell everybody this is important.
All in this together and we all succeed together or we all fail together.
This township is okay, there are some townships that will sink,
Yeah.
and
Right.
people will just see a millage and vote no. We have to make sure they realize this is,
Gotta get out there.
Education.
and I love that you're
Yeah.
rolling things into it. I've been begging for that for
Yeah.
years.
So as far as getting into the community, you're my first township
Okay.
that I
You did good.
visited. My plan is to visit all the townships more than once if I have to. And I'm also working with some of our local groups to meet with them as well.
Yeah.
Planning to present to the Rotaries and so forth. I provided this document. It's available at the government center too, and I'll provide copies to whoever needs it. And it is on our website. And like I said, we have the YouTube link. We also created a Facebook
Link on
social
the
media
website,
presence
maybe?
to start sharing information there. Love or hate Facebook, most people get their news off Facebook. And so we're trying. We got almost 300 followers now, so we're almost viral.
This is.
Maybe we can link our website to your thing too or something,
Yeah,
like,
can
you know,
definitely. So
really
right
get
on
it
the
out there.
homepage of our website, benzieco.gov, under the news, there's information right there. The part that's very clear though is we can't campaign, just like you can campaign, but we can educate.
Right.
So I don't think we can do a commercial. But we can do education, and that's what we're trying to do. I put this together with the staff in my office, and we're just working to put more and more together to get things out there and just have those conversations with our neighbors. Like I said, I live here, so the people I'm talking to are the same voters as you and I and the rest of us are, and so Benzie is very dear to my heart. I was happy when I moved here in 2015, and so I'm here to support it, and I'm here to do what I can to make my community great, just as your community great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mark Janeska, question?
Yeah,
Thank you.
just comment real quick. I commend your public speaking skills. I mean, you're coming across really, really well. I like the way you put the 3 millages that were sort of tied almost to the sheriff's department a little bit together. With the animal control, the drug enforcement officer and the other one. So I think that's really wise. So it's probably a good idea that you did that without, dipping too far into the other villages that would hold deer.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the education piece is critical, and I think what you conveyed to us tonight, Katie, has been great. Just thinking, if we could get this on our website, Township, but also in the next newsletter, put a thing about, here's the facts about this, this is what this means if this doesn't pass, because I know when I get that newsletter, I read it inside and out, and I think there's a lot of people in our township that do that. So again, we can't campaign for it, but we can certainly state the facts.
Execute.
So.
Good idea.
In the green packet that you have, I did try to do like a short summary that's very high level of everything that's in here. And I tried to just hit the main thing. So this might be something you'd want to consider. I condensed it to a paragraph essentially.
Right, okay.
So I tried to do that.
Good idea, for sure, summary.
Maybe we could put that on our website and then link to yours.
Yep, right on the homepage in a big box.
Yeah, maybe
We
that last
acknowledge
page of the
that
newsletter.
typically you can't get the average consumer to get beyond a headline. And so it's what we refer to as our elevator speech. And there's also a graphic that could be provided at a later date that Katie's developing right now. That's a visual that people can see, this is where you were, this is where we are, this is where we want to go. It's real easy to visualize what we're trying to, in terms of the financial impact, it's a good visual.
The other thing too is very soon we'll have a calculator on our website. We've been piloting it in the background. I didn't want to make it public until we know it's going to have accurate information. But essentially what this calculator would do is you'd be able to take your parcel number and put it into there, and then it would calculate what your tax increase would look like if it were to pass. And so that'll be live on our website here any day. We're almost done populating all the data into it so that we can get that out to the community too.
Tax increase minus those 3 millages.
Correct. Yes, it'll show the difference.
Okay, anything else for Katie? It was
No.
really informative.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Came across really well. Thank you.
Yep.
Very
Very good.
Okay, moving on, I asked Jandy Sprouse just to give a quick introduction of herself further down on the agenda. Claudia, who was our library board representative, has resigned, so we need to reappoint. So make an appointment, and Jandy has volunteered, so just real brief.
Yeah, I have been living in Benzie County now for about, I think we're going on our 9th year. My background is we raise livestock up in Leelanau County for 40 years. Alpacas, llamas, and Tibetan yak, and retired and sold the ranch and moved down here. We love living here, and I love the library. I love this community. I love how everybody chips in. And I walked into the library one day and says, "Gee, I live in Lake Township." Yeah. Oh, would you like to be on the library board? I said, "Let me think about that." And it was like 30 seconds. And it was like I called her back. And so I'm very happy to serve. And I just love what we do as a community. I love our library. And I see everything that's going on. And I have volunteered there for the board. So
Thank you. Any questions for Jandy?
Thank you very much. Thanks for showing up.
I told Stacy, you guys don't have to stay if you don't want to. You're further down on the agenda, but it's up to you. Thank you. Okay, Committee reports. Anything from the park committee?
Don't go, I know what's going on down there real soon.
All right. How about planning commission?
Go ahead.
Well, we have a meeting on the 12th and we're gonna have two meetings this month. The 12th and I think the 26th. And so we're just gonna try to approve the stuff that we already went over when John was the chairperson. So I just want to make sure that we just keep moving ahead. And then we'll take the issues that we can, that we'll have to talk about later, and we'll just sift those out. But we can approve a lot of the stuff that we have right now as a committee, and just try to get that so we don't have to keep looking at it over and over and over again. So I want to do that on the 12th, and so that's where we're at. And then we'll have another meeting. So hopefully, I mean, if we can shoot a target date of July, maybe, hopefully, just push this thing through. Because we worked out really, really hard. We covered a lot of ground. We have some changes, but there's nothing earth shattering that I don't think that our community can't live with. I mean, I think we're doing, people are giving input. We're allowing people to have input. And so I think it's we're just gonna keep moving forward. I'm gonna push forward.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay. Website committee, I think you knew last month that the design has been approved, and right now, Revise is currently creating the site map based on an outline that we gave them last October, so like the categories and everything, and then, I mean, right now, we can start, we can continue to upload content into our Revise portal. So looking for content, Michelle Irwin is on the website committee. She just drafted, one of our categories is how do I? It's like, just questions like, and, so she made a first draft of that. I think we're gonna ask Penny to review it, and, so we're moving along.
Are we thinking?
I knew you were gonna.
We've been talking about a website for a while.
I know.
Years.
July? Fully on? Ready to go?
I'm afraid anymore, but sure, I'll say July.
I think it could be sooner.
I mean,
if they're uploading content,
Yeah, this is
I'm
early
I would
March.
think.
they built the,
It's how fast that the group can add content.
Well, and then also though,
We have to tell them how to pay taxes, how to, whatever our processes are, we have to give them that content.
the other thing that we have to remember is, I mean, once it's live, we can continue to add
Exactly.
more and,
Yeah.
I think that's the first step of getting a live.
well, getting something that's.
Yeah.
added.
Yeah. Gonna open the door before you walk through it.
Moving
Progress.
on to staff reports, we have a report from Gunner, the assessor. He's really busy right now because board of review is happening this week. We had one board of review last week. And, so I guess you know how to find Gunner if you have any questions. Code enforcement officers report on short-term rentals. Any questions for Mark? Oh, and then my report. I know you haven't had a chance to look at it real closely because I just got it out. If you have any questions, you know how to find me. Park attendance, we've just hired one new person already, and so if you know of anybody, the application is now on the website. The parcel mapping that is coming, it's actually funded by the county, and we're going to have parcel maps on our website, the new website. I guess maybe just a link to the county website. We still don't know for sure how that's gonna go, but basically layering a parcel map with wetlands maps, zoning maps, etc., so that if you want to know the zoning for your parcel, instead of looking at that tiny little map there, you can actually click on your property tax ID number and the zoning will pop up. So it's going to help zoning administrators, developers, the general public, and that's pretty exciting. So unless there's any questions on that, we have two people that are up for reappointment. Joanne Tarkington, ZBA member, His term just expired, and I would like to make a motion to appoint Joanne Tarkington to another 3-year term beginning March 1st.
I'm sorry, you said 3-year term?
3-year term, okay,
DDA.
the ZBA.
Second.
I made a motion supported by Orr. Any discussion?
So was there other interest from other people, you know, getting different people in and new blood and things like
I
that?
can
Or did
say
they
for
just-
sure no, because remember, we just, well, Mike Tarkington,
I was gonna say, it wasn't Michael.
and but then we didn't want to have brother and sister. I guess I didn't actually consider replacing Joanne with Mike. I didn't really think about that.
I don't know. I know sometimes Joanne has a hard time getting, you know,
Scene.
yeah, some things like that. I just wondered if, you know, there had been any other thought of
This
anywhere
this
else.
month I did not actively try to seek anything else out.
I
Like I
know,
said, I
this
did a
is a
couple months
commitment for
ago.
3 years.
Pardon?
This is a commitment for 3 years though, too. It's not like, oh, because we put it off a month, you know. That I was just
You said
saying,
Michael.
I'm one
Michael.
of 5.
Is Joanne's?
Right, I know
Yeah.
them both. Yeah, I mean. Are you thinking, potentially that's a possibility if we maybe provide a different perspective, slightly different, or?
I honestly hadn't thought about replacing her. She's been a good ZBA member and she wants to continue, and so I guess I didn't really consider that. And if you want me to, I mean, we could postpone for a month if you'd like. We're gonna have a ZBA coming up, but hopefully not within this month. I don't know. I feel like she's done a good job.
Well, I'm
Very
definitely-
dedicated.
Yeah. I mean, if he's interested in something like that and doing it, I mean, just for consideration. I don't know, but if you're satisfied with Joanne.
Well, I wasn't thinking anyone in particular. I just wondered if
Right.
any, you know, if you thought
Piggybacking
anything
that.
else. It was just a question to me. We could reappoint her. I'm
I mean,
not
I really
saying
pounded the
no.
bush. I really pounded the bushes when we were looking for somebody for the planning commission,
Hmm.
so.
You figured
recently-
you were good to have somebody, right?
Mark, like,
Could he go with a sub? Make him a sub and then he can learn or,
we're allowed to have an
Hmm.
alternate and we don't have an alternate right now, so, offer that to Mike, maybe. Is that what you're,
Well, that was the conflict with the brother and sister though.
they would, unless it was Joanne that had the night off, or.
Right, but you
Maybe so.
can't, you know.
It's not illegal to have both a brother and sister on there. It's just, it was more like, does this look okay?
Jackie's on there now, right?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, it just feels weird that we're talking about one person in particular. I was just thinking, was there anybody else out there or, you know, more than one that we should think about?
When
I
was-
certainly wasn't saying that we need this person instead of this one.
Take it that way.
Okay, okay.
When we were looking for the planning commissioner, Mike.
Yeah, I know his name had come up in some of this before.
I guess here's the question, but as these come up, does it get posted in the paper of?
I did not post this. I think
Website,
if there was,
nothing.
if there was an opening and it wasn't somebody who's wanting to continue,
Oh,
Well,
true.
if they're not wanting to continue, that's what we post, but if it's somebody that says, hey, I want
Sure.
to
That's-
say.
so far.
That means you get it for life then, if you're.
If you're doing a good job.
Well, there's been committees I would like to get on. I can't seem to because the people that are on it.
But we put you on the zoning board of appeals once and then we,
Mm, yeah,
quit.
we don't want to go there right now.
Sorry.
No, you asked if I wanted to be an alternate and that's way too deep for this meeting.
Okay,
No, we can just go ahead and continue with,
well, I'm gonna call for a vote and, I'm gonna call for the vote. Let's do roll call.
Kyle Orr,
Right.
Joel Klein,
I,
Marianne Goodman,
I,
Penny Georgevich, aye. Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
is there like a motion in a second that we did a roll call?
I just did
We
roll call
did,
because
yes.
of
Mary
maybe
Pitcher
not
and
everybody
Kyle
was
Orr.
on.
You just like,
No,
okay,
no,
I just didn't hear it before.
Yeah,
roll
the
call.
conversation, yeah.
in case there's differences of opinion. Okay, next up, Mark Janesco's term on the planning commission is up. So I would make a motion to appoint Mark Janesco for a 3-year term to the planning commission effective March 1st.
I would second that.
Any discussion?
They're not on the agenda.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. You want,
Aye.
aye, opposed? Did you want me to do a roll call?
I'm just confused, but one was and one wasn't. No, it's fine. Yeah, I did I.
Okay, Mark Janesco, you're stuck with it for 3 more years.
It's not on the agenda.
Longevity, man.
Just check
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
You learn a lot.
That's all I have, unless you guys have any questions for me. Okay, zoning administrator report, we received Josh's report, his basement flooded. So he asked if he could stay home and dry out his basement. I said, please do.
Get up for shift tonight.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's not just Josh.
Husband and wife are
Yeah,
cleaning
so
the
they're
basement?
both cleaning.
Okay. So Josh has office hours tomorrow. If anybody has any questions, get a hold of him. Fire report. Mike Cedarholm, would you like to highlight anything for us?
Couple of things that were mentioned. They have a trench floor out on the north end of the building, we do all the drainage, we got drainage now too, so. After 20 years in that building, all of a sudden we developed a 3-inch sag, so all of the drainage was going the opposite direction, instead of 2 inches, instead of south it was going. Well, we gotta trench it all out, put it all new. They just put in the concrete today, so hopefully that will all come to a close. Other than that, any questions from the board?
Thank you for coming out and doing an inspection for us.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, that helps.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Commissioners update? Art not.
Apologize for not coming to the podium. You've heard a lot of county business already. You got my report in advance of the meeting. I'm hopeful. I'll just answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions from the board for Art? Thanks for being here. We have Christy Briggs' written report. She called and her daughter has a high fever and she apologized for not being here. I need somebody else to talk. We're moving on to salary resolution. If someone would like to go through these and make motions, that would be great.
I'll make the motion that we adopt resolution number 2026-01, the resolution to establish township officer salary. Whereas according to MCL 4195-3, in a township that does not hold an annual meeting, the salary for officers composing the township board shall be determined by the township board. Whereas the township board deems that an adjustment in the salary of the office of supervisor is warranted, now be it resolved that as of April 1st, 2026, the salary of the office of supervisor shall be as follows: $30,900 annually.
I'll second that.
Motion by Georgevich, supported by Goodman. Any discussion? That will be roll call.
Al Orr.
Aye.
Mary Pitcher.
Aye.
Marion Goodman.
Aye.
Joel Klein.
Aye.
Penny Georgevich. Aye.
Okay. Next up is first.
Do we vote for our own salary?
I just did. I think we.
Yeah, because you're not voting for your salary, you're voting for the treasurer's
Oh,
salary.
true. Okay. Thank you.
All right, motion to adopt the resolution 2026-02. Whereas the township board deems an adjustment in the salary of the office of treasurer is warranted now, be it resolved that as of April 1st, 2026, the salary of the office of treasurer shall be as follows: $31,415 annually.
I second.
Motion by George, supported by Orr. Any discussion? That will be a roll call.
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Nate Georgevich, aye. Joel Klein,
Aye.
Mary Ann Goodman, aye. Kyle Orr.
Aye.
Trustees.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2026-03. Whereas the township board deems that an adjustment in the salary of the office of trustee is warranted now, be it resolved that as of April 1st, 2026, the salary of the office of each trustee shall be as follows: $6,000 annually.
I'll second that.
Motion by Georgevich, supported by Goodman. Any discussion? Roll call.
Penny Georgevich, aye. Kyle Orr. Joel Klein.
Aye.
Mary Pitcher.
Aye.
Mary Ann Goodman.
Aye. I'd like to make a motion, whereas the township board deems that an adjustment in the salary of the office of clerk is warranted. Now be it resolved that as of April 1st, 2026, the salary of the office of clerk shall be as follows: $32,445 annually. Thank you.
Motion by Goodman, supported by Klein. Any discussion? Roll call.
Kyle Orr.
Aye.
Mary Ann Goodman.
Aye.
Joel Klein.
Aye.
Mary Pitcher.
Aye.
Penny Georgevich. Aye.
Good. Yeah. Moving on to township wage schedule. I would entertain a motion to approve as presented.
I'll second that.
Motion by Pitcher, supported by Goodman. Any discussion? We went through all these at one of our budget meetings already. So that will be a roll call.
Penny Georgevich. Aye. Joel Klein.
Aye.
Kyle Orr.
Aye.
Mary Ann Goodman.
Aye.
Mary Pitcher.
Aye. All right, next up is the property tax administration fee resolution. We've already voted in a previous meeting to not do anything. And so I would like to, at this point, just at least postpone this. I might bring it back with additional information, but if it's all right with you, just remove it for now from the agenda. Good with everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, so in your packet is Claudia Bailey's letter of resignation from the library board. Yes, it's written January 22nd, but we didn't receive it until the middle of February, so. I would entertain a motion to accept Claudia's resignation with regrets.
Second that. Make the motion that we.
Motion by Orr,
I'll second.
supported by Goodman. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, carried. I would like to make. Oh, I just have a question. There's no term on here. Is this just indefinite?
No, they're for 3-year terms. If you want to keep things easy, you can appoint the new person to finish out Claudia's term. And I don't know if she's up this year or next year, but I can get back in touch with you for that. And then we'll just keep it in the same schedule then.
Okay, I would make a motion to appoint Jandy Sprouse to fulfill the remainder of the open Lake Township's open seat on the library board, Betsy Doors Library Board.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, or I'm sorry, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you so much. And yeah, we appreciate it. Fire barn furnace, Tammy, are you presenting this?
Yes, we discovered that all of the heaters on the right side of the barn, both the electric heater inside the entry area and the heater overhead were not working. And we called out, we had it recommended by our plow guy to have heat tape put on the pipe so we don't have it freeze. I called a heating company to have West Shore come out and take a look at what's going on. Is heat tape the right answer? Because all of the plumbing stuff is on the right side of the building. They inspected and discovered that there are two large cracks in the heat pipe of the heater on that side. The heater downstairs was replaced, so that entry area where the pipe is, that is heating, but the replacement of that heater, which would serve primarily as backup, or if by chance the temperature drops, they're planning on setting it so that way if the heater on the left side of the barn will heat the barn majority of the time. If it drops below a certain temperature, then the second heater will kick in. And so this estimate is from West Shore to install that thermostat as well as the heater.
West Shore's the one that just did the furnace too here.
Yes.
What's your pleasure?
I'll make a
I-
motion that we adopt this, that we approve this proposal and follow through. I don't know.
Yes. I'll support.
Second.
Supported by Georgievich. Any discussion? Hearing none, that'll be a roll call.
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Jill Klein, Marianne Goodman,
Aye.
Kyle Orr,
Aye.
Penny Georgievich, aye.
Next up is the at-will policy. We learned that we don't have an at-will policy, so Penny drew up an at-will statement for all future employees to.
Marianne did this.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
want to give credit where credit is due.
We brought it another time, but we didn't do it
Okay.
months ago. Okay.
Short and sweet. I understand and agree that when hired, my employment is for no definite period and may, regardless of the date of payment of my wages and salary, be terminated at any time without prior notice or for any reason or no reason at all. I further understand the township may change any employment policy at any time. Sorry, no reason. So I would entertain a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve it. How well?
I'll second it.
Motion by Klein, supported by Goodman. Any discussion?
Yes.
Mhm.
So this applies to all employees? Everybody except elected officials, like park people, anybody that we hire, deputies, obviously. So I'm assuming beginning like this year, everybody's going like immediatity. we all
This will
get
go
hold of
into
the
their
other people, have
employment.
them sign
packet,
it,
Yeah.
Like the people that are already.
and then it will be
now-
filed in their personnel file kind of thing.
Yes.
That's all I was asking. Thank you.
Anything else?
We've been through it. My deputy knows. She's still here. Oh, good.
Let's do roll call. Just, it's policy.
Kyle Orr.
Aye.
Joel Klein,
Aye.
Penny Georgievich, aye. Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Marianne Goodman,
Aye.
Okay, Darcy and Benzonia Public Library Agreements. This is the topic that doesn't seem to go away. I apologize. Last month, we made a motion. We had to approve these amounts, but we had a request from Darcy Library, and I think it was very appropriate that we add that this agreement would be effective from the 6th day of June of 2025 for a period of 1 year. And that way, that ensures that they don't miss out on a year of donation or contribution.
Service.
For services rendered. So I had on your table just two recommended motions to amend the motion that was made in February. That I would entertain motion for each separate library.
I would like to make a motion that we amend the motion of February 5th on the contract with Benzonia Public Library to include the language, this agreement shall become effective on the 6th day of June 2025 for a period of 1 year.
Second.
Thank
Motion by
you.
Goodman, supported by Klein. Any discussion? Roll call.
Kyle Orr,
Right.
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Penny Georgevich. Aye. Marion Goodman,
Aye.
Joel Klein.
Bye.
Ditto.
Darcy Leonard?
Yeah, I said ditto. I'd like to make a motion that we amend the motion made on February 5th for the contract for Darcy Public Library to include the line, this agreement shall become effective on the 6th day of June 2025 for a period of 1 year.
I'll
I
second.
second it, ditto.
Motion by Goodman, supported by Klein. Roll call.
Joel Klein,
Aye.
Marion Goodman,
Aye.
Mary Pitcher,
Aye.
Penny Georgevich. Aye. Kyle Orr.
Thank you for finding a way to make this happen. That was a bad feeling that we couldn't, so
Right,
yeah,
You're welcome.
okay.
And now we know for next year.
And we'll be doing these checks mid-month probably to get them out to these people.
Or sooner.
And Historical Society was already taken care of properly.
Oh, yeah, good.
Okay, on to Frankfurt Fire and EMS agreement. Not everybody's happy with me that I sent this to the attorney, but I did. The attorney's recommended changes, in my opinion, are not really substantive. How do you say that word?
I would agree.
So Richard Wilson has then sent this back to the attorney who drafted it, and we're just waiting to hear back. So at this moment, it's information only.
So they weren't substantive, whatever word we're using for that. So they were, but instead of just saying you don't have anything major to change, we sent it to them to have them change it.
But well, they're probably not, I mean, Frankfurt's not going to approve it without their attorney saying, okay.
Right, so they have to go back to their attorney now too.
Richard Wilson sent it to them. I mean,
And what if Crystal Lake Township has already took it to their board and approved it? So then after
I think they could
Frankfurt's
just-
attorney does it, then they have to take it back to their board.
presumably theirs can just stand,
And it's all the same contract.
but their contract is between Crystal Lake Township and Frankfurt, correct?
Oh, good grief, I thought we were all signing the same contract. So you're gonna have a different
No, that.
Oh,
all-
sorry,
all
I didn't-
listed on the heading of that.
Yeah, I mean, this was supposed to, that's why I said in the meeting last month, why we all had agreed not to send these to our attorneys.
I apologize, but I was not going to enter into an agreement without legal review. Sorry.
Well, I won't be going to any more fire board meetings. Ever, for Lake Township, sorry.
Okay.
Doesn't seem to matter that we go and spend our time doing it and being the face of Lake Township there when go behind our back and do that. Sorry.
It was in a public meeting that I said I wanted to send it for legal review last month.
And it was in the meeting when I said we already told people that we wouldn't because we all sat there and agreed. If everybody sends it to their attorney, then all the attorneys are not gonna agree. Sorry, no, you just made my word not negligible there, so that's fine. Penny can do it. Thank you.
Actually, the supervisor appoints it.
Oh, good. I'm so happy.
All right, correspondence.
Mike did. Yeah, comment.
Oh,
If you don't mind.
yes.
Give you a little history on that agreement. It was the governor that originally decided to create a task for Michigan State University way back then. According to what the city manager told me in Fremont, where this came from, to develop a community. I guess an agreement where communities can work together to handle certain public services, okay? As a result of that, Michigan State University came up with this agreement. And like I said, the city manager currently Fremont, and their attorneys drafted this original. So when we took it upon us, and I talked to the city manager in Fremont and asked him, how did it work? How did he told me the whole history and how he was involved, and actually when he was a student at MSU, with this program and became a city manager of a different city, and then took the same agreement and process to Fremont, which covers all those municipalities originally listed on their agreement. And so when we talked about this, we just basically changed the heading on it, talked about a few things that we wanted to do, and it was agreed to take it to our attorney so that this didn't become an airport thing. So we wound up everybody sending it to their attorneys and everybody's attorney's fees going up. So that was the agreement that was the advice we were given from the committee at the time.
That's why I apologized to you earlier.
Well, and I'm sorry too,
But
if you disagree, I'm not comfortable signing something without legal review.
I had a question for you about this. There was the one notice in the fund balance. It's the understanding of the government agencies, parties, that any excess fund balance remaining at the end of the fiscal year will be reclaimed from the city's fire fund to be utilized by and for the benefit of the Frankfurt city. Any feedback on that, from this advisory? Is it just Frankfurt Fire Department's gonna make that, or are you?
yeah, what it basically does, it goes into capital improvements. It stays in that fund, like for when the floor's gotta be tore up to be rebuilt. I don't have to go back to the entity and say, did you write a check? Or just sinking. So
Well, I like what you said, it's the capital improvements, at least that's telling me something other than throw a pizza party.
$17,000 for a furnace, so we had.
Yeah, that's.
That came out.
That was the thing that flagged me. If it's going to capital improvements.
So
Fire
at this point,
truck.
we have to table this until we tell the lawyers. If it's nothing
Tell them to fix the
substantive, then it
margins.
should.
That's what he said.
I mean, here's my only comment on that is if their attorney doesn't have any really objection or says there's really nothing major here. We could go back to the original, I mean. If it's grammar and red line, they can go back to the original. I mean, Richard could have just said. But attorneys do what attorneys do and they,
Well, you have to know. something.
so I. If there's a way to minimize cost, I think we should be mindful of that. We'll see what, I guess, it's already at the city attorney, right? It's already there.
Yeah, it's at Ross, but the city's already approved this agreement, so at the last city council meeting, so. And Crystal Lake approved it, so it moves down the line.
Yeah, you're welcome to make a motion to approve it as it was presented last month, if you want to.
Oh, I would make that motion to approve as presented last month.
Well, is there, since this has already been submitted, is there the possibility that it might be a different end document? I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just saying since.
This motion is to approve the original document.
If the attorney has already said it's not substantive, I don't think
Well, I said it simply wasn't substantive. And there's a lot of red lines here. But it wasn't talking about changing any formula or anything. It was,
Changing government units to
He
parties.
said he wanted
um,
to change the formatting.
did you make a motion?
I did.
Is there support?
I'll support.
Any further discussion? Roll call. So the motion on the floor is to adopt the agreement as presented last month, not the one that has been reviewed by the attorney.
Kyle Orr.
Aye.
Joel Klein,
I.
Marion Goodman,
Aye.
Penny Georgievich. Aye. Mary Pitcher.
No. Nay. All right, moving on to correspondence.
We have the newsletter from Darcy Library. And copies of the newsletters actually are can be found in the office. We have the Benzie Senior Resource Center has sent their newsletter, as well as the Benzonia Public Library. We did receive a letter from Smith Howie Attorneys at Law, giving a heads up that they may be asking for some information regarding bots repost in the future, so to keep documentation. Yep.
But, that's not attorney-client privilege, right?
No.
I didn't know if that was which one it's not.
That's it. No outgoing.
Announcements and general board discussion. Should we just do a little round table here? Bill?
Looking forward to keeping going on the planning commission and get this zoning. As I was reading this and they were talking about possibly bringing zoning back to the county, I'm like, well. That'd be nice. No, we're gonna keep looking at that. Don't go away, so we need summer response.
I just have a question about the township window stickers. Has anybody ordered those yet?
I have gotten price quotes from a couple companies, and it looks like the best price quote is going to be from the company that we used last, Gentees. They were, I'm trying to think, it was 50 cents a piece from Fast Signs. Gentees was 30 cents per sticker.
But they haven't been ordered.
They have not been ordered. I have a design that I wanted to run past.
I was
The
thinking.
trees.
we
With
could
the
put
trees.
Logo.
Yeah, it does
behind
have
it.
that. Yeah, I'll show that to you and we can get those ordered. From what I've been told, it should not take long once we place the order to get them in.
Are they gonna go in the newsletter? Is that ordered?
Yep.
Best way to get them out to everybody, I think.
That's all I had. Do you have anything else?
Just a quick announcement, Bureau of Elections is for any of our creative people, artistic people, they have their competition for the I voted sticker. So if you want information about that and you want some submissions, I have the information, direct you to the website, so you can send it to clerk@laketwp.org and I'll send you the link.
This way.
We also had the risk assessment of that's where the coming up with the at-will statement came up. There were a few other things. We had the fire inspection. Mike came out to do that because they suggested he do that. And which in turn we will be having fire extinguisher company that's coming out to test it. They were supposed to be here this week, so I may still hear from them tomorrow, just to empty and refill, and then also put tabs on them so that way we can put Mark in charge of doing a monthly check on the fire extinguishers. So there've been a few things more that we can check
You
on.
don't have an annual inspection here of the fire extinguisher?
We do not. There are not even tags on them, so
And they might not be, we might have to get them on the thing.
Well, it seems.
that's why we're having the fire extinguisher expert.
Someone bought
Check
me
that
fire
out.
extinguishers for Christmas gifts.
So, but that went very well. It was very educational. And
Thanks for doing
a
that.
few other policies that she's suggested, which we'll be reviewing and coming up at future meetings.
Leanne, do you have anything for us?
I do. I have a couple things. Now that everybody's like giving their little reports. So taxes are sort of about over. We collected over 99% of the summer taxes. I mean, that's awesome. Winter, we're like at 94%, something in there. So overall, like 97.5% collection of taxes here, which is amazing. Thank you all. And I just want to report that, we do take online payments. The ACH payments are a flat $2 fee. And with stamps being, pushing $1, a lot of people are using it. I had over $1 million come in on ACH payments. Yeah, I mean, we do credit cards too, but that was a lot of money. That was amazing. The other thing I wanted to just like discuss or just like kind of let us think about and maybe do is the mileage, the date that we start the mileage, if we can maybe bring something to the table on that. And the hall cleaning, somehow we got the hall cleaning lady as an employee, which it always used to be like a 1099, give them a flat fee and not
Right.
have to deal with that. I think we should try to maybe get back to that kind of thing.
And
And I found out because we've been paying them under a contract line, so I have to like figure out how to fix that for the end of the fiscal year too.
And that does bring
Put it as
another
a
element.
wage instead of a contract line, but it'll be okay. So yeah, just something else to throw out that,
Yeah, absolutely. And because you brought that up, we are looking for a new cleaning person. Our cleaning person has moved to Bay City. So,
Once a month, $85.
I have some more for comment, and this is more for Art. This was great. Very informative. How do we get the word out to the
Yeah.
whole, keep it as simple as possible for the folks. Cause I think that's somewhere on the road commission, it sort of fell down a little bit. And boy, I think that's a priority.
Well, as we mentioned, and I'll let Katie address anything that I missed, but you've got that comprehensive document. Within that document, there's our elevator speech that we talked
Yeah.
about. And Katie, correct me because I'm probably wrong in
everybody
this,
know
but
to vote yes.
we have a minimum of 20 meetings scheduled between now and the middle of July.
Okay.
To educate people on what the ask is.
And for as much as I love Facebook, that's where you're gonna have to answer people,
Yeah,
And you get all stupid.
I know.
but that's where you're gonna have to get in the weeds.
Well, I would add this, but my bigger concern is making sure that the paper represents it correctly. And we've been working directly with them because there's been some things that were said incorrectly initially. Now, I'm happy to report that in the last 2 weeks, they've done a better job. We've told them specifically, you need to call Katie. I know we don't get editorial rights, but let's get your information correct. I love Colin, but I think sometimes he falls asleep during the meeting.
Yeah.
And so when he wakes up, he catches just that portion of it. I know that's not very fair for him. He's not here to defend it, but I've said that to him direct, so.
I think this is critical for Benzie County.
If there's events that you're aware of that you'd like me to
Yeah,
attend.
I just keep thinking the
Um,
Rotary, but
I'm
those-
going to go to the Frankfurt Rotary. I gotta reach out to the morning Rotary. The political parties have asked me to come, and I go to them. Obviously, all the townships, the city and that sort of thing. If there's things that you can think of, I'm happy to go.
would you have just a community?
We thought about
Yeah.
doing some sort of open house.
Yeah, more than one.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And
Yeah.
In fact, Katie, didn't you tell me that you were looking at planning 3 of them, all of them will be broadcast remotely?
Yeah.
So other people can attend.
In different parts of the county. That's kind of the hope, we're trying to put that together, the Gov Center is pretty centrally located. And then it may give us an opportunity to highlight some of our other locations or even your locations. So whatever you can think of, I know the gathering place is a really popular place, so that would probably be a good spot. So the library would be great, and so, yeah.
Somehow if you can get, student, I just remember this takes me back to Flint in the early 80s.
Students, you say?
Yeah, students.
I'm very good friends with the government teacher, we're working on
And
it.
so, that's, I think that getting them involved, we did a little video,
Yeah,
save our schools, this big thing, and they did this, we had it presented all over town, and it gave the students who were back then in AV,
yeah.
now everybody's on their camera and
I
they
know.
can create all sorts of little fun things, so maybe there's a competition or something.
The trouble is that they're like ending the end of the school year now, and it's summer work, and so of course they get a little like, well, it's summer. And so, I'm trying to like speak to some of them, like I said, the government teacher at Benzie, she's a friend of mine, our boys are the same age, so they're buddies. And so we've been trying to implement some things back in the community to get kids involved. I'm very passionate about the kids. I serve on the early education outreach for the Michigan Municipal Executives, and therefore I'm just really into the kids. And so anything I can do to get kids involved in local government is what I've been pushing. So if I can find kids to help me, I will use their services. They're starting to implement community service again for the government students. They have to attend government meetings again. So hopefully we can get more kids here because local government's where it happens, and I think they don't teach that enough. And so I'm pushing as hard as I can.
Thank you.
Because we're gonna retire someday and we need some kids to get in here. and take
Yeah.
their place.
Okay, you guys, at this time, we're gonna open public input. Please try to limit your comments to 3 minutes, rise and state your name, and, anyone have anything to, for the greater good? Art?
Art Jeanette, Dead Stream Road. Two things, thanks for that at the end. And with respect to the website, I hope that you're planning to put the agenda for the upcoming meetings on there.
That's our goal.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm not supposed to respond, sorry. Any other public input? Patty?
More for Mary Ann. When you do your newsletter, you're gonna have to figure out a way to explain our township operating more,
True.
you know, because it's gonna come out that the township's gonna get 1.21. That's not what
That it would
you,
raise to that, yeah, we'll have to discuss that and see if we feel comfortable saying something like, we have no intention of like.
yeah, and
Yeah, good
having
point.
it on the website where you can, get your parcel and hit the, how much it's gonna cost you.
Is that gonna include the townships
Yeah.
going up to that
Yeah.
1.21?
It's supposed to,
Yeah.
But that's gonna make them, that's wrong though,
That's the.
because we
Yeah.
probably wouldn't levy all of that. So people will see more money
Mhm.
than it really would be.
So was the feedback that you would prefer just to have county information?
I
Wouldn't that
know,
be
but that's a
better?
good point. I mean,
Yeah,
if people are looking at, they're looking at higher than it probably will be.
Yeah. Well,
That's
if you
not
look
what we
in
wanna
the-
show
the
them.
packet, I give you the calculation on how to calculate your own taxes. And so it's pretty easy in there for folks to calculate it. It's a pretty easy math problem. And so hopefully that'll help folks figure it out. They just need their tax bill and their taxable value, and it's a really short equation to figure it out.
It's gonna be, if they pinpoint that and say, oh my God, my taxes are gonna go up this amount of money,
It might, but I think more of it's gonna be word of mouth and trusting your neighbor. And
And that's why
you
you
talk to
get-
people and you say, no,
And the
this
newsletter.
is. Yeah, you're right. We'll have to try to find a good way to get the right information.
But I keep thinking about the fact that if it doesn't pass, what's going to happen? And you got a lot of people that
Freak
don't
me
live
out.
here year round. And they just see their tax bill and they don't have they don't have this kind of feedback.
Right.
And, it's not like saying, if you don't vote for this is what's gonna happen, but it is information that really makes a difference. I don't know how you handle that.
It's gonna require some thought.
Just gonna keep doing it.
Any
Talk to your
other
neighbors,
public input?
everybody.
Mary wants to help.
All right, hearing none, public input is closed. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Second.
All right, or all in favor?
Aye. Thank you, everybody.